So this is our main thing that we're doing today, and we're going to use the skills we just revised to do this. Just a quick thing. Quick quiz. When you put a whole bunch of words together, right, in English, when they're all grouped together and they have a meaning together, what do we call a group of words?
Sentence.
A sentence. That's right. Sentences, right? Now, in a very similar way, if you put a bunch of algebra and numbers together, we don't tend to call it a sentence, but it's the same idea. It gets a new name, starts with an E, then an
Equation.
Oh, now, we will talk about equations, but just generally speaking, right? What we call it is an expression. It's very similar, but it is different, and we'll home in on more of the differences a bit later on. Mark? Yes. If n represents any number, okay? Now, we actually have a way of saying this in mathematical sort of formal language, and I'd like you to write it down, okay? In fact, even before you write A, just write, for question 1, right at the top of your heading, say this. Let n, okay, be any number. Okay, that phrase there, and sometimes it'll be a different letter, sometimes it'll be slightly different, something over here, but this particular sentence, you'll see it over and over again in maths, and it's kind of like, well, you know how TV shows, they have like a title card, a title, like an opening sequence, and it's like 30 seconds long or something, and you know, the TARDIS is flying around, it's like, ta-da, Doctor Who, or something like that. Yeah, it's a long one, some are long and some are short. I view this kind of like the title card. Right? It's like, oh, now I know what we're watching. What we're looking at is an algebra kind of idea, an algebra kind of problem. So there's our introduction. Part A. If n represents any number, write an algebraic expression for the number added to itself. Well, the number... Now, you don't have to write the question down, but I'm going to do it because... it's going to be easier to see if you see it up here. Okay. Now, all I have to do is read carefully, right? This, admittedly, is kind of like an introduction. This skill's going to be much more useful when we do introduce equations later. But all I want to think about is translating this, and I really mean translating. Like, we're going into a different language here. Algebra is its own language, okay? I'm going to take English and I'm going to translate into algebra. Okay. So I see the number. There it is, the number. But I just called that n, right? So right there, I write n. Okay. Now then I say add in. That's addition, right? That's a plus sign. Yeah. What do I have to add it to? Yep.
N.
I was putting it forward, but that's okay. N, yes. Well done, Sahar. There you go. There's the number added to itself. Does that make sense? That's it. That's all it is. Okay. Now, just as a side note, you could write down. Like, we can simplify this, right? If you got a number, like say 5, and you add it to itself, 5 plus 5 is 10. It's the same as double the number, right? That's the same. However, I just want to draw your attention to the fact that it's this line here. This line is the one which is equivalent to this. These two are equivalent. Okay. This one's actually trying to say something a bit different. That's kind of what it's like in translation, right? How many of you speak more than one language? Hands up straight. Everyone who speaks more than one language knows that if you want to translate, right, there's lots of different ways to translate things, right? And sometimes they can both be valid, but some translations are closer than others, okay? So in this exercise here, what we're looking for is this line, right? The one that really is the number added to itself. That's very, very, very slightly different to double the number. Like, that's a different sentence, so it's a different expression. Does that make sense? Let's do another one. Now, again, I'm trying to teach you how to translate, what kinds of things to look for, okay? Now, you may even like... I guess this is an advantage that I have since I'm writing down the question, okay? But I'm going to highlight the key words that are important here. When you're translating, you don't need every single word, you just need the important ones, right? So, which are the important words in this sentence? Anyone want to suggest one to me? Yeah, what? Some. Some. There we go. If you don't know some, then it could be something completely different, okay? Kieran, another one. Number. Excellent. So that's the number that we were talking about. And the last probably important one, Ali?
21.
Fantastic. Okay, we got 3 pieces. Let's put them together and that'll be the last example. You guys can have a go. You got the number and you got 21. Okay? So I'm going to put them down. Number and 21. But then you want to know what's the operation that combines those two. And so you look and see the word sum. So what's the operation? Plus. Addition. There you go. That's it. That's all there is to it.